You know the sports world loves a good overnight success story. But this week tells us something way more interesting. We're going to dive into the power of persistence, what it really takes to not just get to the top, but to stay there.
So from college athletes who are right on the edge of a championship run to, global icons who've been dominating for years, we're about to see what it looks like to persevere when everything is on the line. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so first up, we're hitting the basketball court. This is where we see a special kind of endurance, a team's collective will, as Selection Sunday for the NCAA tournament gets closer and closer. The pressure is on. And what's fascinating is we're seeing two totally different paths to persistence. On one side, you've got South Carolina. Their whole strategy is built on this rock-solid foundation, an absolutely elite defense and some serious rebounding depth that just wears opponents down. And then you have UConn. They're all about growth. This young roster is just hitting its stride, building that unstoppable momentum at the exact right time.
It really makes you think, right? I mean, forget sports for a second. In your own life, in business, what's your game plan for bouncing back when things go sideways? What's your version of that deep bench or that late season comeback?
All right, let's switch gears. We're moving from team endurance to individual persistence, from the hardwood courts to the snowy mountains of Val di Fassa for two completely different but equally amazing stories.
Okay, so meet Italian skier Laura Pirovano. This number you're seeing, 120, that represents an incredible journey. That's how many World Cup races she started before she finally got her first victory. Just let that sink in for a second. And here it is, the payoff for all that waiting. After 120 starts, what did her breakthrough win come down to? Just 1/100th of a second, literally the blink of an eye. That is the reward for sticking it out.
So here's a tough question for you. Would you be willing to wait 120 tries for your big breakthrough? I mean, let's be honest, most of us would probably tap out after, 20? Pirovano's story really challenges how we define what it means to stick with something. But here's the other side of the persistence coin. At the exact same time Pirovano was having her big moment, the legend, Mikaela Shiffrin, was showing off a different kind of endurance altogether. Sustained, relentless dominance. She's leading the overall standings not by being flashy, but through just incredible consistency across multiple disciplines. Her versatility, that's her superpower.
And from there, the story of persistence gets even deeper. At the Winter Paralympics, we find what might be the ultimate examples of it, where technical skill and the human spirit are pushed to their absolute limits.
Just try to imagine the para-biathlon. It's one of the toughest events out there. First, you have to push your body to total exhaustion while cross-country skiing. And then, in a split second, you have to find complete stillness, calm your breathing, and hit a tiny target with a rifle. It's this wild battle between two completely opposite states of being.
And when you talk about that level of resilience, well, one name just immediately comes to mind: Oksana Masters. She is an absolute icon who truly embodies this principle.
This number, 19, it really helps you grasp the scale of what she's accomplished. 19 Paralympic medals. She's not just a competitor, she's a force of nature, dominating in both Nordic skiing and biathlon. She's continuing to build on her legacy as the most decorated U.S. Winter Paralympian ever. Just incredible.
And this kind of persistence is everywhere you look. In para-alpine skiing, you see this incredible bond of trust between visually impaired athletes and their guides, basically racing as one unit. In para-snowboard cross, you've got athletes like Brenna Huckabee mastering these super technical jumps at insane speeds. It is truly a masterclass in skill and pure courage.
Okay, so let's bring it all back to you for a second. We've seen South Carolina's lockdown team defense. We've seen Laura Pirovano's .01 second breakthrough after that long wait. And we've seen Oksana Masters literally redefine resilience. Which one of those sounds like what you need most in your life right now?
So to help you turn all this inspiration into actual action, I want to give you a quick tool. Let's call it the persistence audit. Just a simple 3-step system to help you apply these lessons right away.
So, let's make this real. Step 1 is the start count. Just like Pirovano, you gotta acknowledge how many times you've already tried. Step 2 is the technical check. Think like a biathlete here. Are you balancing your hard work, your pacing, with your efficiency? And number 3, the guide factor. Just like in para-alpine skiing, who's your guide? Who do you trust to help you get through the fast, tricky parts of your journey?
Come on, let's do this right now.
Pull out your phone, open a note, and just write down the start count for your biggest goal. And hey, if that number is under 120, guess what? You're still just in the warm-up phase.
Now, the really cool thing is that this theme of persistence, it isn't just happening in a few isolated stories. It's part of this huge wave of momentum in women's sports, and the demand for these stories is just getting bigger and bigger.
I mean, just look at what's coming up. The NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships have over 650 athletes getting ready to compete. Media coverage for the WNBA, for international soccer, for women's tennis, it's all expanding. This is not a niche interest anymore. It is a full-on global movement.
So if there's one thing you walk away with today, let it be this. Persistence isn't just about passively waiting for your turn. It's about the active, disciplined, and sometimes really hard work you put in while you wait. Hey, if the stories of these athletes and their incredible journeys inspired you, do me a favor and hit that like button to acknowledge their persistence. It really helps more people discover these amazing stories. We'll see you next week.